everyone, welcome back to the GRE How-To channel where we make studying for the GRE a whole lot more tolerable. I have been on a little hiatus and I think it's time to get back on the saddle and serve you up with the 2-month update. Now, we're just going to go straight through, no edits and things like that. So we're going to go do the quick hits. I am literally barricaded in a room at my old school to try to kind of get in the zone, because that is what I have needed after these kind of 2 months. Pretty much the biggest takeaway I have learned from this experience at this point in time is that 2 months is probably the maximum amount of time that you want to study for the GRE. Of course, everyone has to do their own assessments as to how much they need. But for me personally, I have just started to let a lot of other priorities come in. I've been traveling a lot. So, oh, boohoo, Ashley, I know. But I think that it's completely normal for life to happen for many of us. And it's going to be easy to get sidetracked. And for me personally, I think around the 2-month mark, I was like, oh, wow, I still have a month to go until my test. So I think I found a little bit more license to slack off a little bit. So it's like, okay, you need to get back on it. If you are in the beginning of your GRE journey and you're trying to plan things out, I think you're actually at an advantage in a sense. For me, I had my birthday, I had graduation, I had traveling, I had 4th of July. There's plenty of distractions and things that kind of knocked me off. Not always. I think having you all to create videos for was actually excellent, because it gave me that sense of accountability, which I did anticipate, which is why I'm doing this. So I just want to make sure that you don't get into that 2-month rut. So if you do plan on studying for more than 2 months, I have some tips for you and things that I needed to do to get back on the horse. The first thing I recommend is to schedule your study time and plan it out. Now, of course, you don't need to plan out every single week for the next 4 to 8 weeks right now. But what I do recommend is maybe at the beginning of each week, setting out your agenda for study. So I'll take a step back. What you can do right now is plot your study blocks of time. You can do that from now until eternity. But in the very beginning of each week, I think it'd be good to plan out, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes on text completion. Then I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes on geometry review. Things like that for the entire week ahead, so that you have a sense of direction when you are approaching your study time. For me, I kind of just left it out in the blue, like, ooh, I have to study. And then it's like, ooh, Instagram, and ooh, Handmaid's Tale. Until next summer. So I found plenty of excuses plenty of specific excuses to override my ambiguous, oh, I need to study. So my advice to you is to make studying as concrete as possible. Make sure you have a plan so that it's easier to hold yourself accountable. The next thing I recommend is be faithful to the 1 test a week schedule. I think I let myself slip a little bit on that, and I think that, there are some really great benefits to taking the test. Not only do you get familiar with it, but you build a routine, right? The more you take the test, the more comfortable you can get with it. I'm not saying take it 80 times, because there is a such thing as test burnout. But I think, especially for the 2 months, once a week taking a test isn't isn't going to be the worst thing in the world, as long as you are doing what I've said before in past videos, looking at the questions that you got wrong, understanding why you got them wrong, and analyzing your performance. The last tip I have for you as you are kind of nearing that 2-month mark is hold on to that why, because there are so many things that are going to come your way and you have to really understand what is most important. I was listening to a Getting Things Done podcast, and the guy was talking about how sometimes when you're actually procrastinating, it's because you subconsciously don't really think the thing that you are avoiding is actually important. There are more things more important. That may or may not be the case, but I think holding on to that why, that utmost like super important thing that you know that you want and you know that you desire, is going to be critical to keep motivating you to go through. Make it your phone wallpaper, put it up on your wall, put it on a mirror. Let your inner self know that you are working towards something and you're not going to stop until you get your score and you never have to take this test again, and you live happily ever after at your graduate program of choice. I'm happy to report that I feel like I'm back on the wagon. I have a few weeks left. So up next, we're going to have a review on the ETS Power Prep GRE test, which is really exciting. And please continue to give me suggestions on the kinds of videos that you want to see in this journey. I'm debating on whether I'm going to be taking the test twice, so we'll see. Because I feel like at this point, I'm going to be able to get a pretty good score, and I kind of just, I guess, a masochist. I think so. Part of me is just like, okay, well, what can we do better? Can we go for it? These are probably musings that I have in my head that kind of fall into the category of me overcommitting and overextending myself. So I might have to temper that, but it's an idea that's floating. So either way, expect to see more videos. As long as you ask for them, I will give them. I can't wait to hear what you want and hear how you're doing. Check in with me. I like it when you put in the comments what you're working on and how things are going and how maybe we all can help you with something. So I'll talk to you next time. See you later.